What is up, guys? Kasey here, back with our review of Mancera Vanille Exclusive. After trying this out for 48 hours, we are discussing the note breakdown, the longevity that we experienced, as well as the projection, the recommended setting that we tried this fragrance out, and what we expect this to be best suited for, as well as the seasonality that we discussed in our first impressions as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. In terms of the notes that you can expect from this, mainly what I was smelling was, when I tried this fragrance out, was the peach notes, the whipped cream note. There's like a brown sugar note in there as well, and there was slight woodiness to the fragrance that was nice because it was allowing it to last longer as well. And as well as the vanilla that was very nicely blended with the peach. So those are the main scents that you're gonna kind of expect from this fragrance. You should expect from this fragrance is that vanilla and peach are the main key notes that you're gonna get, and then that whipped cream, the brown sugar, and slight woody note is gonna be all around the fragrance, as well as the osmanthus, that is the floral note that is in this fragrance. So those are the main notes that you're going to be smelling overall throughout the development of the fragrance. Though there are many other notes that are meant to be in this, these are the key notes that are really going to be significant and where you're going to be always consistently smelling it over that longevity time of the fragrance. Now, discussing longevity, in terms of longevity, you can expect this to be lasting around 8 to 10 hours. So we originally expected this to be 6 to 8, but 8 to 10 if you apply a little generously and in key areas, you can definitely expect to push this longevity pretty far. But I'm going to put, this is a very important note to keep in mind. I put the fragrance originally for the first impressions on my wrists around here. Now I've showered since then, I've changed clothes, I've gone to the gym, and still to this moment I can still get slight hints of the fragrance. So this is very, very, very potent fragrance, mostly if you spray it onto clothing, or if you spray it generously onto pulse points, or if your skin is slightly oily. Since I have just generally just a slightly more oily skin, fragrance usually sticks longer, but I can still smell it after like 48 hours of trying this fragrance out on my wrist. So it's a very slight skin scent, but if you waft it, and if I hadn't showered or I hadn't done any strenuous activity, I can probably still smell this fragrance. So it's a very, very strong fragrance in terms of longevity. You may even get longer than 12 hours of constant scent, meaning that you can constantly smell the fragrance wherever you're walking around, whatnot. You'll constantly receive the scent as a significant scent and not just as a skin scent. However, in terms of general longevity, I would just stick to 8 to 10 hours as the range for this fragrance. Now, in terms of projection, you can expect 2 to 4 feet. Now, I say 2 to 4 feet while still, putting emphasis on the longevity. 2 to 4 feet, depending on how you apply it, where you apply it, and the climate, because these are very important factors that do affect projection. Now, in my case, I was getting around 2 to 3 feet of projection. However, I didn't apply it into my hair. I didn't apply it not too heavily into my clothes, so I put it onto my neckline, and that's it. So I got 2 to 3 feet with slight application of the fragrance. Now, mainly this fragrance, I would see it as a lady fragrance. So I know oftentimes women spray the fragrance into their hair, as well as collarbone, neckline, and wrist. So if you were to apply to all these main key areas, I can definitely see this getting to that 4 feet of projection, as well as slight lingering effect as well, just because of the fragrance is kind of dense but not crazy, as if it was a oud or rose based fragrance. So you'll definitely get slight linger effect as well with this. In terms of recommended setting, Now I wore this outside, out and about, nothing crazy, no nightlife, nothing. So mainly in coffee shops, at the office, and areas like that. And I definitely didn't expect this to be a very overwhelming. I expected this to be overwhelming, but I received feedback that it wasn't that overwhelming of a fragrance. And so I believe that this can be safe to wear in a work environment. However, I would still precaution that that work environment shouldn't be say like very client facing, just because this fragrance is strong and it may project very strongly, and you don't know how that the client and whoever is facing you may feel about this fragrance, though it is very enjoyable, and the fragrance is pretty much like a dessert. So just keep that in mind before applying this to any kind of work environment. But other than that, in terms of any casual environment, date night, or nightlife, this would be pretty well suited for those kind of settings. Now, in terms of seasonality, as per mentioned in the first impressions, this fragrance is very good for the fall season, but also a cooler spring season. So if your spring climate is cool, nice, between the 50 to 70 degree Fahrenheit or below 50 degrees, that would be around 10 to 18 degrees Celsius, give or take, or below that, then this would definitely develop well. The fragrance notes would be well suited for those climates, and you'll definitely enjoy this fragrance more than if you were to wear this in a warmer climate. And that's all that we have for a review of Mancera Vanille Exclusive. And overall, I had a pretty good experience with this fragrance, though it is very feminine of a fragrance. I did enjoy it because I do like, the scent of desserts, and the vanilla is very well blended with the whipped cream and the peach. And peach is not a note that I often get to experience in fragrance, and so it was a nice change of pace to smell the peach note as well as the vanilla mix. It's very, very, very pleasant. However, as per mentioned, this is exclusively made for women. I would definitely not recommend any man to wear this, just because it has that very feminine vibe that you want to, usually, like, if you were smelling this fragrance, you instantly refer to yourself into your head as a woman walking by and you smelling this. And so you definitely would recommend this to be tried out if you're a man and you're very, very adamant on trying this out. However, I would just highly recommend to not try this out and avoid avoid the sample if you're going to purchase a sample or whatnot, and try something else. So we're going to be trying out another Mancera next week, giving our first impressions and giving our review after 48-hour test. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe.